Time now for our takeaways from the Spurs loss. Yes,
Ooh, well,
we start 2020 with a loss. Starting off the year with a loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 109-103. A very frustrating game, and our takeaways, Lonnie Walker, inconsistency, and Chris Paul, the veteran guard. So let's start first with Lonnie Walker, David. We're going to start with some good things here.
Okay, we'll
starting on the bright side. What do you think of Lonnie's play?
16 points, 21 minutes, an assist in there, and he tried to help the Spurs stay in it in the fourth quarter with a couple of twos and a three. Had 7 points there in the fourth quarter. And I think the amazing thing is how he's starting to figure it out, and Pop seems to be pretty impressed. And when Pop's impressed, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, and that's something Lonnie talked about, just kind of slowing the game down after this loss to Oklahoma City.
I was always just going 110%, but now I got to use my speed at certain times and certain given moments and slow the game down. I don't always got to go full speed. He tells me to be aggressive but also look for others, so I've been trying to be smarter and find others and just play great defense.
So while as an individual, Lonnie Walker is showing us something, which is always good, as a team, they didn't show us much in the second half. They showed us a lot in the first half. The Spurs got up by 14 and went on a 17-0 run and got up 14, and then it all just kind of withered away in the second half. They only scored 21 points in the third quarter, and that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, it was definitely a tale of two halves for San Antonio. You mentioned the third quarter, just slow. I mean, coming out of the gate slow, Oklahoma City kind of already cutting into that lead. What do you think was the biggest issue there? And again, first half, completely different team. Second half, I mean, it's hard to kind of pinpoint what happened there.
Pop was talking about ball movement. They were not moving the ball. The defense started slacking off, and those guys started scoring. And I think it was Derek White who was talking about in the postgame that once our defense starts slacking off and we start having to take the ball out of the basket instead of getting off of rebounds or getting off of turnovers, then our offense starts slacking.
We just got to be better at continuing to get deep player movement, ball movement. It doesn't help when you got to take it out of the net every time. I felt like when we really were going well, we were in transition, pushing it up, moving it.
Chris Paul coming up big for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Unfortunately, the Spurs have seen a lot of Chris Paul over the years. He doesn't seem to be slowing down, but what was it about him that was making him so difficult to stop tonight?
When's he going to retire? He comes off that pick and roll, and he's on the elbow, and he's wide open, and he nails them every time. I mean, he was 6 points through three quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, he was 5 of 7 for 10 points. Only finished with 16, but his 16 were so effective, at least the 10 in the fourth quarter were so effective because every time the Spurs try to get back in it, Chris Paul make a basket.
When it's time to orchestrate, he know how to align them guys and put them in the right spot, and he understands where he can get his shots off when need be. So it's always tough when you're playing against a high IQ point guard like Chris Paul.
Back-to-back games now against the Milwaukee Bucks, the team with the NBA's best record. What are your thoughts heading into this interesting back-to-back?
DeMar DeRozan said, "Bring it on." No time better than the present. So there's two ways to look at that. We can either challenge ourselves and see if we can get a couple of wins, or we can get them out of the way right now in the season before you even get into February, and they'll be done because you play at Milwaukee on Saturday, and then you bring them back home and play them here on Monday. What a better time for a challenge. I mean, they've been able to beat the better team.
Those games coming up on Saturday and then back here on Monday. Again, an interesting back-to-back with Milwaukee. All right, guys, we'll leave you with that. Again, Spurs fall to Oklahoma City, 109-103. David.
Take a big coat. Go Spurs, go.